Hey, everybody, Bill Caskey here. We're going to be doing something here in the month of March. Every day at 8 a.m., I'm going to be going live and talking about things that I think can help you. The reason is that this is the end of Q1 and the planting the seeds for Q2. And I think the last month of the quarter is a good time to do this. So every day at 8 a.m. Eastern, we're going to be going live. And I was thinking the other day when I was talking to Travis and the team that every day I'm in the mode of coaching. I coach owners of companies, entrepreneurs, VPs of sales, high performing salespeople, and every day is a series of lessons. To be honest with you, I mean, things that I learn about the market, things that I learn about myself, things I learn about them, and we always come to conclusions in this coaching that can help people. And so I want to share those things with you. Sometimes I'll make an offer. Sometimes it'll be a free offer. Sometimes we'll have a group opening up that I would like to invite you to. Sometimes it's a webinar we're doing. So yes, there will be some offers along the way. But hopefully you get some value out of this. Yesterday we went live. I'm going to be looking at the comments here. So feel free to comment. We're on YouTube, LinkedIn, and in the Facebook group called Going Pro. And we're using StreamYard as our platform here, which allows us to do that. So I'll be looking at comments if you have any. Yesterday, I went live for a dry run, and the dry run wasn't all that successful because the audio was not working. I did not look down in the lower left-hand part of the screen here and said mute. I was muted the whole time. So hopefully I am not muted today. So that's the plan. I want to introduce myself for those of you who are new to me. I've been in the coaching and training business for a number of years. I won't tell you how long, but long enough that I've probably heard most of the issues that maybe you or your team are going through. I work primarily in the business-to-business area. I've got corporate work that I do where I go inside a company and I work with them on an ongoing basis. And I've also got some public groups called the High Achiever Mentoring Program that we do. So fortunately, I'm privileged to be able and blessed to be able to be in the moment with a lot of different organizations in a lot of different industries. But again, primarily in the business-to-business space. Okay, so with that as the backdrop. Are you ready? I'm ready. Oh, by the way, I don't know how this is going to unfold. I really don't. I mean, it may be by the third week, you are so tired of my stuff that you all say, enough, get out of here, in which case I will abide by your suggestion. Or we may end up going longer. We may end up having some of you on with me. There's a way we can do that. We're using StreamYard, as I say, and we can do that. We can have 2 or 3 people on. We have panel discussion. I mean, we can see where this goes. But I always find that, like, if you're a VP of sales and you say to me, sure, I'll be on sometime. We do an interview or we do a question Q&A. You will always learn something from me. I will learn something from you. The audience will learn from the back and forth. I really do believe that anytime 2 people or 3 people come together and chat and talk, lessons can flourish from there. So who knows how it's going to unfold. I was watching, I think I mentioned on the Advanced Selling podcast the other day, I was watching Joel McHale's new TV show, and I'd heard about it, and the trailers looked funny, and so my wife and I watched it the other night. It was awful. The first episode was awful. They were trying really hard to be funny, and I didn't think they were. And my wife said the truth. She said, give it a couple episodes. And so hopefully you'll apply the same grace that my wife has for Joel McHale to this. First things first, I did a podcast last week that I interviewed a guy named Alan Allard, and it is live now. It is, if you just go to billcaskey.com, you'll see a podcast there. Click on that. Alan is takes a psychiatric view and counseling view to the business world. And so he works with salespeople, VPs of sales, high-level people, high-performing people primarily, helping them get better without grinding themselves to death. And Alan has been on the program a couple times, and he was on this week. We talked about self-criticism and self-judgment. And we also talked about some of the false assumptions that we all make when we are in the mode of achievement. And his point was, it's unhelpful. It's just unhelpful. And yet we all do it. And we all do it subconsciously. We don't sit around and put our heads in our hands and blame ourselves for everything in the world. No, but we do it subconsciously. It's like, yeah, I could have done better. And he says a lot of times high achievers have this problem more frequently because that's how we got to be high achievers, is we were critical of ourselves. But he says there's another way to do that that's not nearly as damaging. And so if you don't currently subscribe to BillCaskey.com or the Bill Caskey podcast, make sure you go there and listen to that, at least that episode, because Alan had some really good stuff there. Let's see. We also talked on the Advanced Selling podcast about the evolution of the salesperson and how where is this all headed? And I believe that, you know, there's the frontline salesperson, the business development person who's out there making calls every day and doing their thing and cold calling. I'm not sure the future of that. I think the future of that's going to be, it's not going to go away totally, but I think you're already seeing a lot of companies in the tech space lay off people. They're probably not laying off their top performers. They're probably laying off people who can't make the calls and can't make things happen. But I think there are so many other ways to use technology to do that today that I'm not convinced. Let's say there's 17 million sales professionals in this country, in the US. I don't know how many there are globally, but you know, that number is going to shrink. It's not going to expand. It will never be, unlikely that it will ever be more than that. But it doesn't mean it's going to go away. And so great sales professionals, people who, and I wouldn't even say sales, just people who are really good at messaging, at communicating value, at writing, at producing things like this or podcasts, those people are going to be in demand. And so if you have a desire, if you're in sales right now and you feel like, you know what, sales is, it's okay. It's good. I'm okay at it. But man, there's got to be something else. Look into those other areas, because you can get your needs met from a sales and performance standpoint. But still, if you're making 100 cold calls a day for a tech company, there's only so many days you can do that. I'm sorry. I mean, I know that we can put a, you know, steel over our heart and get our emotions out of it and just smile and dial all day. I will tell you that will take its toll. And it might not take its toll in the next 6 months, but later in life, it will take its toll. But there might be other ways to do that. So be thinking about, can you produce better video? Can you become really good at writing? Can you create lead generation devices like freebies, like, things that you can give away to capture names? I mean, there's all different things you can do that keep you in sales, but this, making 1,000 cold calls is not it. But also there's the technical people, the accountants, the lawyers, the consultants, the people who you, in a way, have to go out and generate business. You're not going to go away. The accounting work is not going to go away, but how you sell that work might. So you probably don't, most accounting firms haven't hired a business development person. So some did in the 80s and 90s. There was a trend toward that. I'm not sure. I'm not close enough to that field to know. But most of the time, the accountants and attorneys are responsible for their own business development. So you have to decide how you're going to do that. You're going to make cold calls? Of course not. Nobody does that. So how are you going to demonstrate to the world that you have expertise and knowledge and things that can help them? The way to do it's through what we're doing here: video, audio, content, things like that. Let's see. What else was there here? I had a situation that happened to me a couple nights ago. I went over to our neighborhood association. There was some drama about the pickleball courts. Big stuff here. All the world issues and dramas, and we're worrying about pickleball courts. But there was a little drama because there are some people that live right next to the pickleball courts. Pickleball, if you're not familiar, is a trendy. It's like part tennis, part ping pong, part paddle tennis. It's really a good sport. A lot of people play it. Went to the board meeting because these people who have a house behind the pickleball courts were complaining about the noise. All right, fair enough. Don't disagree. It's because it's annoying. It's kind of like a ping pong with a wiffle ball. It's very loud. And there was a lot of people in this board meeting who were in support of the pickleball courts and said, look, we don't want any changes. We have hours, 8 till 8, 12 hours a day. We can play the sport. And there was some tension in the room, and there was just some tension. I was watching this, and as an observer, my wife plays, so I didn't really have a personal dog in the hunt because I don't play, but I was supporting her. And these two people who were anti-pickleballers, we'll call them, they actually belong to the Anti-Pickleballer Society, which is an association. No, it's not. I don't think. Maybe it is. I followed them out as they left, and I was talking to them out in the lobby, and they were very nice people. And the man I talked to him more than the wife, but I said, what do it sounds like we're at an impasse here, and short of ripping out the pickleball courts, what do you want? What would you like to see as the solution? Because nobody really asked them that. And I thought I'll use some of my coaching, what limited coaching talents I have, to see if there's an automatic, immediate solution. And they couldn't give me one. And what that told me is that I think whenever we enter negotiation, or whenever we enter the buyer-seller dance, we have to ask that question: what do you want? And if the person can't answer it, and I don't blame them for not being able to answer it, if nobody's asked you that before, it's like if I came up to you on the street and we became friends and acquaintances, and I said, tell me, what do you want in your life? You might be hard pressed to, in the moment, deliver some kind of cohesive 5-minute design, bucket list. I kind of like to go to Greece and love to have a home in Florida. Other than that, I just want happiness and peace. And I don't think we've thought through that enough. And so the lesson there for me is, sometimes if you ask a prospect what they want, or ask yourself what you want, it's not always clear. And so you, as a sales professional, when you're asking what a great audio quality today, says Mike Black. Yeah, it's got some audio. Yeah. It's always hard to read lips when yesterday. It's a good question to ask. And I think it's a good question to ask even in internal meetings, internal board meetings. It's like, what do we want out of this? What do we really want? Well, we'd like to do more business in the SaaS space. Okay, well, we'll be more specific. What do we want? What do we think is possible? To me, what you want always comes from a list of what's possible. And I don't sense that we spend enough time in the possibilities. In fact, Alan, on this podcast I told you about, was talking about that. What's possible? And then what do you want from that list of what's possible? And then we can talk about, how do we make it happen? What's the project plan? What are the behaviors? Things like that. So anyway, I'll close it up for now. Good job today, 8 a.m. Eastern, every day. I know that makes it hard for you mountain people, right, Mike? It's a couple hours earlier, but we're going to be doing this during the whole month of March. And let me know what you think. If you think I should go and stop this immediately, let me know that. But I'm just, I want to share some things that I've learned over the time coaching people. And so hopefully this has been helpful. So anyway, hope you have a great rest of the day, and I will see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. live.